Hello and welcome to another video, guys. Right then, for this video I'm back down on the linear fisheries complex. My aim for this session was to be on Brasenose 2. Brasenose 2 is just one of the lakes at Linear where you can just rock up, start fishing, and the bailiffs come round and then you just pay when they do. However, I turned up to the shop this morning to get a few bits, only to find out B2 had been shut this morning for spawning. Spawning has started on there today, so that's knocked out the equation, because in all the years I've been blogging and all the linear lakes I've been on, I've never filmed a blog on B2, which was why my target lake was B2. Thought, well, let's get that one ticked off, and then I've filmed all the lakes linear then. Yeah, but the spawning has put a kibosh on that plan. B1 is also still shut because, again, spawning, it's been shut a bit longer, but it's still shut. Now, with B1 and B2 lakes being quite big lakes, that means the rest of linear has taken the brunt from all the anglers needing to fish somewhere else. So, what did I do? I was sat out the shop going, what do I do? So I got the old Go Catch app on my phone, saw what was available on the Taff Farm part of linear. I just did a potluck really, and we've ended up on Lake 8. I've fished this swim before, it's Peg 8, but yeah, it was just potluck really. I just kind of swiped the Go Catch app, just had a quick look. I thought, rather than wasting time driving around the complex looking for swims, because basically I've only got 24 hours, that's the plan, so I didn't want to waste my time driving around the complex looking for swims. So Go Catch, quick look, saw what was available, Lake 8, Peg 8, fished that one before, book, job done, and here I am. So as you can see, we're not fishing yet, everything is still kind of on the barrow. I've put the rods on the alarms, but that's as far as we've got, guys. So I'm going to crack on, get set up, and then I'll be back with you when we're doing something a bit more interesting and waffling about what's happened so far. Let's go fishing. Oh, right guys, so as you can see, I've got my marker rod in my hand, and that's because when I fished this swim, I can't remember what it was, 2 years ago, just under 2 years ago, I do remember there being a shallower plateau out there. So obviously I've been looking for that spot just off the camera, and took me about 15-20 minutes to find it, but I have found it. It's aiming for as I look at the lake, it's aiming for a particular kind of high point on one of the trees on the right hand bank over there, but I've just clipped it up off the camera, so just want to do one more. Dunk. Right, let's take out the clip. Just taken down to the float. So all around this area of the lake, we've kind of got like 20-25 foot. But on this little plateau that I've just cast to, we have got, well, I'll count it out. So my count, I've explained before in my blogs, but I always start my counts at 2 when we bring the float up, because of the length of the boom and the float itself. So the top of my float is already kind of a foot off the bottom, hence why I start at 2. So when I bring it up, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh. So that's 16 foot. Maybe I've gone a little bit left because I had a few foot shallower than that when I was doing it off a camera. So let's wind it back down to the float, back down to the lead, which it is now. Right, wind it back in. I think maybe I went a little bit too left. Right, couple more casts. I think I've got it now, guys. I think what I'd done before while I was in and sort of winding in and clipping out and casting out, what I think I did, I'd wound a bit too much line in on one of my casts. So I went a bit longer and found it again. So I was right, it was aiming for a particular tree top. I just wasn't. Oh, okay. Bail alarm, schoolboy error. Lucky I didn't crack off then. Right, take 2, tree top. Right, line out the clip. Right, so we should get about 14 foot now, guys, hopefully. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, haha, 13. Even better. Right, so that's the spot. So, particular tree top. Right, we've got it. That's the spot. Right, let's wind it back down. The float back down to the left. There we go. Line in the clip. This spot better produce now. Like I say, we've only got 24 hours, guys. So, but whatever time we have, finding that spot to me was kind of important because, like I say, it's a shallow spot in amongst all the deeper water around here. So that's going to be my middle rod. Left hand rod is going to go out to open water in the deep water with a zig, and the right hand rod, we're going to fish this margin somewhere in even shallower water. But when I turned up, there was fish boshing out all around their margins. So, but yeah, finding that spot was what I really wanted to spend a bit of time doing, because clipping up to a margin is going to be easy. Pub chucking a zig out into open water is going to be easy. This was the one that was going to take the effort. Right, let's get it round the wrap stick, see what the distance is, and then we can get the rods clipped up at the same distance. Lead next to the wrap stick. All right, let's see what we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, I thought I remembered it being a lot further than that. So 14 wraps and 3 foot. Yeah, I don't know why. I thought I remembered it being a bit further than that. So at 14.3. Right, guys. So right hand rod. So what I want to do basically is just fish the margins. So when I first turned up, there was fish boshing out, so I've picked a particular area of the margins over there. There's a kind of a nice little fallen tree, there's a little stumpy tree behind it I can use as a marker. So all I've done, I've already done it again off camera just to save a bit of time, just put the lead on the lead clip and just cast until I got to the margin. So we'll have a drops down nice. It's probably about 10, 11, 12 foot in their margins. Nice and clear. So yeah, we haven't used the marker rod on that one, just the lead on the rod, just to find the range really. And as it goes, it does drop very nice. The left on rod is going to be doing something different, so we'll get to that when we get to that rod. But yeah, now we've found the range on that rod, back to the wrap sticks, see what the distance is. Drop the lead down. I know some people wrap the lead and whatnot around the bank stick. I don't do that. If you're not moving the lead, I don't see why you need to wrap it around the bank stick. So 1, 2, 3, 17, 18 wraps, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 18. Oh, it's about 18 wraps and 8.5 foot. So we'll just say 18.8, which is a nice number to remember. 18.8, 18.8, 18.8. Say it 3 times, easy to remember. 18.8, 18.8, 18.8. Right, and guys, so I'm just quickly tying up some rigs that I want to fish for this session, and I'm going to go with the old German rig again, mainly because my last couple of sessions on my old Syndicate Aspen Lake, we had some success on the German rig, so we're just going to do that again basically. Not a lot of difference, if you've seen them videos, not a lot of difference in the rig from what I did then to what I'm doing now. The only difference is where my old Syndicate had a barbless rule, I was obviously having to use barbless hooks there. At Linear you can use barbed, so I'm using the old Ridge Monkey Apex hooks in a chod hook size 5. If you've not seen me tie a German rig before and you're saying why are you using a chod hook, it's because when I do the knotless knot part of it, I leave the coating on for the knotless knot. So an in-turn die with a coated braid would make the hook kick over too much, but leaving the coating on, it kind of acts as a natural kind of kicker, which is why I use a chod hook, because you've got the outturned eye, so you still get a nice gape on the hook once it's tied. Right, there's a bit of fraying on there we go. So yeah, so doing the knotless knot part of it with the coating, it already makes a nice kind of natural kind of kicker, and I don't want the gape closed up anymore. Alright, so what would be the hair rig gets trimmed off, don't want that bit on there. And before I tie the loop that goes onto the lead clip, first I thread on an anti-tangle boom, then I measure up on the old measure, and I want a 6-inch hook length. Why 6 inches? Just because I find that's kind of what works well. Figure of 8 loop knot. wet it, pull it down nice and tight, trim off the tag end, pull the anti-tangle boom just over that knot, and then that's the hook length essentially tied. Let's just straighten it out a little bit, and then just a micro rig ring. Sounded like Jonathan Ross then. Obviously kept in place by a little hook bead and obviously bait floss for the bait to mount to. This is a pink hook bait. I've already tied one rig up already with a yellow hook bait, so I'm using these pots of hook baits, which up to now I've always been letting you know they're the test bait. Well, since my final Aspen blog, where I revealed what all the new hook baits are, we now know that those pink and yellow ones are the Beetlin Plus, so I can now call them Beetlin Plus rather than test hook baits. So we'll use them up first before the ones in my bag that we saw me preparing on my final Aspen blog. Let's blob that down, and that is 2 German rigs tied. So I want to, especially because of my right hand rod being just shy of 19 wraps, I want a rig that's nice and easy to cast at that range. As we know, I'm not the best caster. It's not often we see me casting at them kind of ranges, and I don't mind admitting it, I'm not a great caster. I'm not brilliant at long distance casting, and that one just shy of 19 wraps for me is long distance, so whatever can make my casting easier. So there we go guys, there's the rigs, and let's see what I mean about the knotless knot kind of, and the choddy hook keeps a nice wide gape. There we go. So we'll get these 2 cast out to begin with, and then once these are fishing, we'll go through what the left hand rod is going to be doing. But yeah, we'll get these 2 out first, and then at least we're fishing then, because what's the time now? It's 1 o'clock, so fishing time on here started at 12, so I'm already an hour down. Right hand rod first. This one's got the pink Beetlin Plus hook bait on it. Why the pink one? So that's the first one I picked up at the 2 rigs. Lovely jovely. Middle rod then guys. This was what did I say this one was? 14 wraps and 3 foot, so more my normal kind of casting range. Right, make sure I get me tree marker to make sure I land on that shallower plateau. And lovely jovely. Dunk, lovely jovely. Third and final rod, obviously the left hand rod, and we are going with a zig rod. Now, because we got a lovely day, nice sunny weather, the lake is flat calm now, not much breeze, but yeah, it's you know, you can't not discount having a zig rod on at least one rod, which is what I'm doing. So digging out the old adjustable zig. So what we got on there? So we got a barbless hook on at the moment. If we do have anything and maybe say lose it, I'll do another rig later on with a micro barbed hook. But we got a red zig liner with black foam, and then of course the adjustable setup. 3-foot hook link, so when everything is on the deck, we'll be 3 foot off the bottom, and then I always work upwards rather than what some people do, where they see the float on the surface and take it down. I go the opposite way around. Right, so I'm going to aim for somewhere between pegs 5 and 6 on the opposite bank, and just going to pub chuck it really at a whatever range. The water out there is quite deep, sort of 20 to 25 foot deep. So once we've cast out, wound the float and everything to the deck, we'll let it up 9 foot. So basically we'll have a 12-foot zig, which will be roughly mid-depth. So dunk. Oh yeah, that's deep. That's definitely got to be in at least 25 foot of water, if not more. So let's pull off 9 foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Float is coming up, albeit very slowly. There we go. So we now have a 12-foot zig out there, guys. Oh, right then, guys. So I just had to have a quick rest in the shade of my bivvy. As they see, the camp is all up now. Not bothered with a ground sheet as it's only 24 hours. We are due some rain tomorrow morning, so tomorrow could be a damp pack up, which yeah, not ideal when I'm only doing 24 hours. I don't really want to pack away a wet bivvy, but hey ho, it is what it is if it does rain. So yeah, camp is up. We're all organised. Like I say, it is really warm. I've just been resting. All brought to drink with me this session. Didn't even bring any alcohol this session. Just brought some chilled water this session. So keep hydrated when it's weather like this. So now we're all set up, guys. I think the plan now is get some spod mix out. Obviously it'll only be 2 rods I've got to spod over, because obviously 1 rod is the zig rod. Get the drone up, get some aerial footage. As per usual, I've emailed Chris Blunt, fishery manager, to ask permission to fly the drone, and he's just recently come back and said yep, that's okay, with all procedures that you have to do. All procedures being, you have to phone up Bryce Norton, just let them know you're going to be flying the drone in the area. It's not within a no-fly zone. You can fly the drone in this area, but they do ask you here, if you are going to fly your drone with permission, just to let Brighton Auto Aircraft Control Tower know that there's going to be a drone flying in the area. So I'll do that in a bit. Like I say, you have to have public liability insurance as well to fly a drone here. That's the other procedure that they ask you to fulfill to fly a drone at Linear, which I do have. So yeah, I don't know whether to get some drone footage now or to put some spod out now. While there's not much wind blowing, I think I might do the drone first. Right guys, as you can see, I've got my spod rod in my hand, so I'm going to start putting out a bit of bait now. What time are we on? We are on just coming up to 4 o'clock. So I've had the drone up, we've got some nice drone footage flying over the lake. Wanted to get some snapshots via the drone of kind of this corner of the lake, which I did. But while I had the drone up over this corner, I saw some fish right by that fallen tree that I'm fishing to. So I'm probably showing you now on some B-roll, but there was yeah, quite a few fish there. But they was all in the kind of upper layers. You can see them quite clearly. There's yeah, quite a few fish there. So I'm not going to spot on that spot just yet. So because I don't want to spook them away, even though they're up in the layers. So I'm going to put some spod out on me middle rod. Oh, I've just adjusted the zig as well. We've adjusted it a couple of times so far, and so far it's 18 foot off the bottom now, based on what I've seen with a drone kind of in this corner that the fish are up in the water. So yeah, so zig is 18 foot off the bottom at the moment, so I'm going to put some spod out now just on the middle rod, and then I'll do the right hand rod later on, because if the fish are still there, I don't want to spook them away just yet. But at some point I do want to put some spod on that spot, just to, you know, if the fish are going to stay there, obviously I want to pull them down to the deck where I'm fishing. So spod mix is your usual kind of linear mix, which is sort of mixed particles and sort of sweet corn, or you know, you can use maize. It's exactly the same, but I've got sort of a mix of kind of, well, if you were to buy it from a tackle shop, they'd call it party blend. This one is one I've prepared myself using pigeon conditioner. It's exactly the same thing. So we're spodding at 14 wraps. So if you remember, I said I'm fishing at 14 wraps and 3 foot. but we're only spodding at 14 wraps because to allow for the drop back of the rig. What I generally tend to do is for every 3 to 4 foot of water is reduce the spod length by 1 foot. So because we've got 13 foot of water out there, I've reduced the spod length to the fishing rod length by 3 foot, which should get my bait or thereabouts. Oh, we've had a nightmare. We've hit the we've hit me bivvy with the spod. Right, I'm gonna probably do a fair few spods, guys, because like I say, I did speak to the previous angler who was in this swim as he was leaving, and he did say he kind of done the opposite to what I'm doing now. He didn't concentrate his bait on any particular spots. He spread baited with boilies and a throwing stick. So because I know the previous angler did that, I'm more than happy to sort of go in a bit heavier with concentrated bait on a spot. So I'm maybe going to do about a dozen spoms, I think. It's not the big spom, it's the midi one, so yeah, we'll probably do about a dozen, guys, and then hopefully that will make a nice little baited spot, and then we'll probably give it a couple of hours, and then we'll do the right hand rod whether the fish are still there or not. Right then, guys, so as you can see, casting glove, spod rod. I'm going to put some bait now on that right hand rod. So I just did one more spod to the middle rod because I realised I'd left the rod clipped up to that 14 wrap range. So we are now clipped up at the, or do we say we're fishing to 18 8 wraps. I took off 3 foot, so 18 wraps and 5 foot. So for me, this is long range spotting, guys. Some of you just might think that's a breeze, that's easy, that's normal. I don't normally fish at that kind of range, so for me this is long range. So if some of them don't hit the clip, don't laugh, don't take the mickey, because for me this is long range and I'm not used to casting that far. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the drone up again. I'm going to hover it above that spot by the fallen tree where this right hand rod is casting to, and hopefully see if them fish are still there. And maybe what I'd really want to do is just get some shots of the spom landing, but that's the main thing. But it'd be nice to see if those fish are still there. There's a bit of a breeze on the water now, so I don't know if we'll see anything like we did earlier on. But anyway, so first thing, get the drone up, and then yeah, and then we'll crack on with baiting up that right hand spot. And if the fish are there and I spook them out, so be it. I know that will probably happen, but the plan is obviously to bait up that spot to then get the fish down on the deck for the night. Right, let's crack on then. Right guys, here we go. Spodding at, well, sort of 18 and a half wraps. So as I said, we've now got the drone up above that fallen tree over there. So hopefully we get some nice shots of where this lands. That's if I can hit the clip. Oh, just short, just as it hit the water, it hit the clip. And when I got the drone up, I saw there were some fish still there, not as many as earlier on, but there were some there, so we'll be able to see now whether we're spooking them out. But like I said, the plan is if we do spook them out, then this would draw them back in and down this evening. Hey, we hit the clip, although it wasn't accurate, probably landed half a rod length to the right of where I actually wanted it. But we hit the clip, so we can cast at what I call long range. I'll tell you, I've got absolute admiration for people who can cast these things 25, 30, 35 wraps, because I tell you, it certainly isn't easy. Oh, that one was on the money, Low. Yeah, so 18.5 wraps, and with my technique and knowledge and know-how, I feel that's kind of on the limit of my ability. Maybe one day I should have some cast intuitions with a professional, maybe learn a good technique. But also at the same time, you guys have to remember, I do have a bad back and I can't lean into it like a lot of big casters do. Oh, that's not hitting the clip. Nope. Well, if that one didn't spook the fish, then I don't know what one will. That kind of darted out rather than making a nice parabolic curve. In fact, if they drifted out, that one might have made them drift back to my spot. Oh, yeah, that's better. Whew. Right guys, so I'm going to put about the same amount on that spot as I did my middle rod earlier on. Like I say, and I'll probably do the rest off camera, just to keep the vlog a bit shorter. Right guys, so that's all me spodding done now, and I've just been sat down in my bivvy looking back at that drone footage I've just filmed from behind the swim, and more importantly right above where I'm fishing. And I thought I'd say it's amazing how perception of sight can fool you. So as I look to where I'm fishing on that right hand rod, for example, up to that fallen tree, now from here I would have put money on it. It looks like I was fishing to win a few foot of it. I've just looked back at the footage, yeah, where I had the drone right above, and the spawn actually lands probably about a rod length away. So put a few foot onto that for the rig. But yeah, what I thought was a few foot, looking at it from this angle, from above, I could clearly see I'm about a rod length away from it. Now I've put all that bait in, I feel like I'm committed to just sticking with it. And also, I could see the fish tighter into the margins. A few little bit out in the deeper water, but mostly they was tight into the margins. But more importantly, they didn't spook. They just carried on just milling around in the margins over there. So it just goes to show, fish that are used to seeing and hearing spodding on lakes where it happens a lot, like here at Linear, they are not put off by it. Albeit, you know, there was kind of a rod length and a half away from where the spod was hitting, but it still makes a commotion. And even sort of where the fish are, they didn't flinch a little bit, which is kind of, you know, interesting to see when you've got the advantage of using the drone. But I think I'm going to stick with that spot. What I'm probably going to do later on after I've had some tea is wind the rods in, put some fresh hook baits on, and go back to them spots. Now, I was contemplating maybe sticking an extra rod length on it and going either side of that foliage tree to go tighter to the margins. But I know the fish are there now, but that's because it's warm, the sun's up, the fish are probably sunbathing in that shallow water. But I'm kind of thinking ahead. Once it gets to tonight and it cools down a bit and it gets dark, my feeling is the fish will come back out from the margins, drop down into the deeper water, and hopefully their senses will sense that bait I've just put out and get munching and hopefully find one of my hook baits, whether it be that one or that one. Well, good morning everyone, and it is still very early. Not even 6 o'clock yet. It's 10 to 6. But I got woken up with first a bird hitting me left rod, and then the swans mooching around me, swimming, bumping into my lines by my other rod. So I got woken up, unfortunately not by a fish. The weather is turned this morning. Wind is done a 180, which normally means the fish would probably go with it. The fish tend to follow the wind on these lakes. And yeah, the wind is now kind of blowing away from me and up that way, so whether the fish are still there, I don't know. I'm not going to put the drone up. We're forecasting some rain in about an hour's time, some light rain, and then some heavy rain about 9 o'clock, so really kind of about pack up time, which ain't ideal. So I did plan to book this swim up and stay here all day, do the rest of today as a day session. But when I got on the booking app, this swim was already booked, so I have to be off by 11 o'clock, which is kind of about the time it's going to be raining. So I'm kind of in a bit of a dilemma. Do I have an early pack up and just get off and beat the rain, just so I can pack everything away dry or semi-dry? Or do I stick it out to the end of the session knowing the fish might not even be here anymore, because like I say, because they follow the wind. So, and because it is going to be wet weather soon, I'm not going to put the drone up to go and have another look. So yeah, do I stick it out to the end or have an early pack up to beat the rain? Now normally I wouldn't touch me rods this early in the morning when it's still bite time, but I'm thinking maybe if I wind these 2 rods in and put them both on their margins where I saw the fish yesterday with a drone and with my own eyes when they were boshing out, but I put a bit more distance on it, sort of maybe go either side of that fallen tree, put an extra wrap or 2 onto the distance. Right guys, that was my zig rod. I've wound it in, put a bottom bait rig on it, same as these other 2 rods, and I've just put that at 21 wraps to the left of the fallen tree where I've kind of been fishing with these 2 rods. So what I need to do now is leapfrog that rod to that alarm and put this one on the middle. Oh, excuse me being a Delkim DJ. Yeah, wound in the zig guys. Not seen as many fish showing today as what I did yesterday, but see a couple of fish showing, and again they were tight in the margins. So because we saw yesterday on the drone footage the fish were kind of quite close into the margins on that shallow shelf, so because we were kind of just over 18.5 wraps, I'm just kind of guesstimating it was kind of 21 wraps. So that's what I did. Zig rig off, another bottom bait wafter rig on the lead clip system on quickly. I say 21 wraps to a point where I've seen the fish showing. So what did we get? So it was 18.5, 9, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, so I'm thinking with at least that rod, that should be on that shelf now, so or at least close to it. So yeah, we've just had a lot of heavy rain. 9:10 now guys, still got a bit of light rain in the air, so I've got about an hour and a half fishing left, or hour and 3/4 fishing time left. Bivvy's going away wet, so I thought, right, last chance saloon, get that zig in. If you could probably see the difference in whether it's not zigging weather today, so I thought, right, get that rod in, back to a bottom bait, get it a bit further, closer to that margin. I'm not going to touch the other 2 rods, just going to leave them fish, you know, so that's now the left hand rod still on that plateau, right hand rod to the fallen tree. So yeah, we're just going to leave those 2 rods and keep our fingers crossed for the last hour and a half guys. Gonna have a soggy pack up, which I kind of knew yesterday, which was I was hoping to get the day extension in this swim, but somebody booked it before me. But Hey ho. Alright, let's start packing down the non-essentials then, guys, and yeah, keep our fingers crossed for the last hour and a half. Right guys, I almost forgot, but one other thing. In my last video, my final video at Aspen, I did a competition for a Guess the Weight competition. Now, I don't know who's won yet, because I need to go through the comments on that video and find whoever's maybe got the right answer or whoever's closest. So I don't know who's the winner yet, but while I'm editing this video, I'll have a look at the comments, see who's got the closest guess. I'll message that person, and then they can claim their prize. The competition did go on a bit longer than it was meant to, because if you remember at the end of my last video, I said my next video would be at Balkan Lake. Well, unfortunately I couldn't make that session, lost a bit of money there, but unfortunately my back gave out on me, so I was led up for a week at home. And yeah, Darren still went. He didn't catch anything, but but yeah, so I was hoping to have done the prize by now. So yeah, so I don't know who's won yet, but I'll put a name up here somewhere now, guys, for you to see who the winner is. And then yeah, thanks to all those who entered. But yeah, almost forgot about that one, because yeah, I was hoping it would have been announced and sort of given away by now, to be fair. But yeah, the old bad back buddy stopped that again. Right guys, just gone 10 o'clock. I've just been looking at the weather app on my phone, and it says 95% chance of heavy rain in an hour. The kind of the latest time I'm meant to be here. So my bivvy in the wind is it's still wet, but it's kind of, the wind has kind of dried most of it off. So I think I'm going to make the decision to just start packing up, basically. I think the fish have done the off anyway. I've seen just one fish show this morning, kind of in the area where I'm fishing, and I've been stood in swim 7, which is about just 20 yards to my left, but it kind of angles round to the left looking down that way, and I've been stood in that swim, and I've been seeing fish bosh out in the middle of the lake, that end of the lake. So I think, to be fair, I think yeah, I think the fish have done the off anyway, because not seeing anywhere near as much activity as what I did yesterday. Yeah, I think my chance was yesterday and last night. So I'm going to call an end to the video here and basically just get packed up before the next lot of heavy rain comes in, guys. Yeah, only a 24-hour session, which I don't normally do. Would have liked to have stayed all day, but I can't. Would I have changed things if I'd have put the drone up sooner? Probably. If I didn't have the drone, would I have known any different carried on the way I was? Most definitely. Like I say, it's all about perception and whatnot. Yeah, if I hadn't had the drone, I would have definitely carried on doing what I was doing. If I'd have put the drone up earlier in the day, before I put the bait out, would I have changed things? Mainly distance-wise, absolutely I would have. Did I make a mistake committing to the baited spots? Possibly. Who knows? There's a limitless number of factors that can make your decision on what you might have done, what could have happened. But it is what it is. Anyway, yeah, like I said, I don't want to get hit by the next lot of heavy rain, guys, so I'm going to start getting packed up. So thanks for watching this video, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, tight lines.